Hey, 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 welcome to Through the Looking Glass. We're going to cut through the kutch today. Woo-wee. Are you on Radio Alansar? Yes, you are. I am Rabia Carvalho, your host for this show that pops up when you don't know it's coming. That's right. We are that in between, that moment in time where you get to speak about the things you actually want to talk about, but you're not so sure that you're going to be talking about it. Looking through the glass today, we are going to be visited by Amani Bucks as she tells us about the super special, totally luxurious, darling, Diamond Walk. And later on, we are going to be having Mohammed Ayaz Kareem, our head of content, over here, whilst we cut through that kutch. Oh, hold on, sisters, brothers. Here we go. You got to get like really ready for this ride. If you would like to WhatsApp us, you know the number 060 904 1056. What are the things on your mind that you wish you want to say, but you don't? But you don't. We want to hear from you. So tell us all about it. We're going to be crossing over to Muhammad Ayaz soon. But first, as I promised, we have all the luxury coming your way. And the luxury is coming very, very soon. The Diamond Walk is back. It's going to be more luxurious than ever, darlings. More luxurious than ever. And it is going to be one of those experiences that you don't want to miss. Nonsense aside, we're cutting through the kutch. You got to be there or be square. Because if you like to live it up and you want to feel the vibe to stay alive, feel the vibe to stay alive, Amani. See what I did there? Then you want to join the Diamond Walk. Now, Amani Bucks is the person who can tell us all about what's going on. And Amani, first of all, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Rabia.
I'm so glad to have you here because this is all about cutting through the kutch. Right now, people are going to be saying, what's going to be on the Diamond Walk? Who's going to be on the Diamond Walk? What stalls are there? Shh, we're not giving that away. You're going to have to wait, my dear listener, to find out on the day because they're going to spring all sorts of fantastic surprises. But today, I want to paint that picture for you about the vibe. Amani?
Yes.
Tell us, what are we expecting from the Diamond Walk this year?
So the Diamond Walk is actually a new event. We've only started it last year. It was the first one and it was one of the most phenomenal events Al Ansar has ever had.
Mhm.
So we're really excited for it this year, but we are changing up the look completely.
Woo-wee.
I can't explain it to you because I don't want to give too much
No,
away,
don't.
but it's different. It is the picture of opulence and elegance. It's something that you have to be there to see.
Oh, wow.
I know just planning it, like myself and Azra, we've never been so excited for an event before.
Okay. So I've got to say, in Durban, we know that people like a little bit of luxury. We know that.
Everybody
likes a little bit of luxury, right? And if you're in Durban, then you're accustomed to the souk. You're accustomed to these wonderful initiatives that Radio Al Ansar, the Al Ansar Foundation, outreach. We've just come off the shopping festival as well. These are all great. These are all wonderful. But there's a smashing occasion coming up. So you say that you're not going to give us too much, but can you tell us why should we go? What's in it?
The thing about the Diamond Walk is, let's all be honest, luxury isn't always, for everyone. It's not a very inclusive thing.
No.
Luxury always comes at a price.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing we love doing at Al Ansar is giving back to our community. So we want to give everybody that feel of luxury, but we also want it to be something that it's inclusive. Everybody gets a chance to feel it.
Okay.
And Al Ansar events are amazing because everything you can think of is under one roof. We've got the greatest fashion trends. Like if you saw it just come out tomorrow, you can be sure we've got it in our event. The food, amazing. And everything is new for this event. We've got new vendors, a whole new food range. And entertainment is our favorite part. We've got everything. Comedy, fashion, cooking. Hopefully,
Yes.
our book launch again with Bibi Aisha Laher. Very excited for that.
Yes.
But everything is just under one roof.
Mm-hmm.
And we love it.
So we're going for a 5-star experience.
Definitely.
But without the price tag.
Correct.
Okay, so you've still got the experience. You still get to hobnob with the best of the best of the best, but you can do so on a budget and, of course, for a good cause, right?
Definitely.
Always good causes involved. You get to come and experience the clothing. You get to come experience the food, new vendors, new food, right? Tell us more. When do we expect this to come through? When do we expect this to happen?
So the Diamond Walk is on the 26th to the 29th of September. So that's the last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the month. We open at 11 a.m. and we don't have a closing time.
Oh,
we don't. If our patrons want to come through and you want to sit there till 12, 1 in the morning, we're open for them. We leave when they want to leave.
Wow. That is the gift that does not stop giving. Ooh-wee. That sounds awesome. Now, the range of products and experiences are really going to be, really going to be impressive. But now with so much happening, doesn't it mean that like you're going to want to just keep on going?
Exactly. It's never ending. There's everything you want there. Our fashion, there's also exclusive high-end fashion brands there. Accessories, there's a variety. There's jewelry, scarves, sunglasses. I can't tell you each category, but we're gonna be here forever. But there's so much to do there, and there's something for everyone. It's, when we plan these things, we have to think about the attention to detail that goes into it. Because if you're coming there with a family, we need to make sure there's something for the kids, there's something for the dads, because they're not going to wait for their wife while they're shopping. There's something for them. There's something for everyone at this event. No one's left out.
You got to keep the men entertained.
You have to.
And keep the ladies busy. And so guess what? Folks, if you're at home and you're thinking, oh, darling, this year we're going to go to Dubai and we're going to go do the shopping. You don't need to do the Dubai. You can just do the
Diamond Walk.
Exactly. Skip the Dubai, do the Diamond Walk, darling. And you've got it all right there for you. The experience any time of day or the night. That's going to be quite something in terms of the logistics of stuff. Good luck to you, Amani.
You know what? I won't lie to you. It's a lot of work. It's chaotic. It's stressful. But when you stand there on your open day and you just look at what you've created and the people coming in and out and the smiles on their faces, it's worth it. It really is.
Yeah. So all the magpies with the sparkles, who love the sparkles and the glittery stuff, can be there. But so can all the kids who enjoy the entertainment, and the Gen Zers who love the comedy.
Comedy. And I also feel like for Gen Z, aesthetics is a very big part of wherever they go and whatever they do.
Yes.
And that's why this event, we've focused so much on the look of this event. And I promise you, it's going to be phenomenal. It's like something you've never seen before.
It's to die for, darling.
It's to die for.
This is fantastic. I hope you're looking forward to it. I know I am. I know we're all going to go and have a look and have a listen and have an experience here with the Diamond Walk. What would you say is the biggest difference between the approach to the Diamond Walk last year, because it was your kind of your dry run, and now? What has been the big shift for you as organizers?
I think last year, being the first exclusive event that Al-Ansar has done, you could think of it as more of a trial run for us. It was brilliant, but now we've got more of a feel of what we're going for. The look, the stalls that are there, the kind of entertainment that we want. So this year we're much more prepared. So it's going to be bigger, it's going to be bolder. It's 100 times better than anything we've ever done.
And it's going to be where?
At the Saxony Westwood Mall.
At the Saxony Westwood Mall. You want to be there on the dates?
26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Don't forget, 26 to 29. You can't get that wrong. 26, 27, 28, 29. And if you're brave, you won't sleep in between. Because they'll just keep going day and night. There's so much to do. It's food, it's fashion, it's stalls, it's entertainment. Really a kind of a pretty much 4 days of full-on walking on the diamonds. And Amani, Jazakallah so much. Any closing words from you for our listeners regarding the Diamond Walk?
Yes, you have to be there. I need to make sure that everybody comes to this. And I think most importantly to remember that the whole idea behind Al-Ansar events, The reason we do this, firstly, is because we love giving small businesses a chance to really grow their brand and give them the exposure that they deserve, as well as where all our profits go back. Because all of the money that we do make at our events, everything goes back into our foundation, into helping the community. All of the outreach projects, the bread drive, the wheelchairs, everything goes back into the foundation. So the money which we get from the community is the same money that we can give back to them to help them in times of need.
So it's also the luxury without the guilt.
Exactly.
So you get to be zhush, you get to rock up and buy all the wonderful stuff. You can buy in advance for the both Eids next year. You can buy in advance for the sister-in-law's wedding and the cousin's 21st and all of these wonderful celebrations. Go and get the shoes, go and get the wardrobe, keep the husband entertained, keep the kids entertained. And of course, it's all for a really, really good cause.
Exactly.
We're feeding the people, we're keeping the roofs over the heads of the elderly. What else are we doing? What are all the good things we're involved in?
We've got water distribution.
Right.
We've got, relief. What do we call it? The natural disaster relief.
Yes.
When something happens, Alansar, they're always on the ball. Our outreach department is phenomenal.
Yes.
I have to give them that. But there's so many things that we're involved in. It's not just one specific thing, Even if there's someone who comes to us.
And the wheelchairs, of course.
Definitely the wheelchairs.
Yes.
We have so many things going on for us.
Keeping roofs over the elderly, keeping bread in the tummies of kids at schools. And you can do that with a little bit of zhuzh at the Diamond Walk. Don't forget the 26th to the 29th of September, the Diamond Walk is coming to you. And just after this, we're going to go to an ad break. So first I want to say Jazakallah Amani. Jazakallah so much for being on the show.
I mean,
wonderful to see you, and I can't wait to see all the wonderful things you have in store for the Diamond Walk. Stay with us as we go through the looking glass right after this ad break. We'll be right back.
العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء همومنا وهدينا في الدنيا والآخرة القرآن.
Sunnah a Day, proudly brought to you by Sunpick, 100% pure sunflower cooking oil. Sunpick, cook more with less.
Sunnah a Day. If food falls onto the floor, it should be picked up, cleaned and eaten. It should not be left for shaitan.
Sunnah a Day, proudly brought to you by Sunpick, 100% pure sunflower cooking oil. Sunpick, cook more with less.
Imagine this. You're putting together a 7-color meal, from the creamy pasta to the glazed carrots and flavorful onion gravy. This entire meal is made with our 100% pure extra virgin olive oil from our La Familia range, bringing outstanding quality and taste to your kitchen. Shop La Familia 100% pure extra virgin olive oil at any leading supermarkets near you. La Familia, heart of the home.
This segment is brought to you by Kenfield Auto, your RMI approved service and repair specialist. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Kenfield Auto.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار.
Car won't start?
Kenfield Auto.
Noisy brakes?
Kenfield Auto.
Due for a service?
Kenfield Auto. Kenfield Auto, the answer to all your car problems. Your service and repair specialist for your VW, Audi, Suzuki, Toyota, or just about any vehicle. Kenfield Auto, your RMI and insurance approved workshop to handle them all. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Call us on 031 207 2399. Kenfield Auto.
Radio Al-Ansar, Durban 90.4 FM, Pietermaritzburg 105.6 FM.
Welcome back to Through the Looking Glass with Rabia Carvalho, the show where we cut through the kutch. And what I mean by that is, now, folks, you're sitting at home and we know that there's stuff that we want to talk about. We know there's stuff that's hard to talk about. We know there's things that we should confront, could confront, would confront, if only we had the courage to do so. And so in this show, which comes up out of nowhere when you least expect it, this is exactly what we are going to do. And we're going to have a little bit of fun with it, but we're also going to tell it like it is through the looking glass. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about a few things. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is the public image family. How's that for you? The public image family. There are so many things that happen in our lives, to ourselves, and to those around us. And yet, what would people say? So we keep it hush hush. What would people say being the big question? Does it really matter? What would people say? You see, now, as a coach, and I have been a social worker for the last 32 years, I find that it's quite damaging to lives when we worry about what will people say, because that's when secrets climb in. Secrets that ain't got no business being a secret. That's when things happen that we keep hush hush, which could actually benefit other people. Okay, so what are the kind of things that happen in a public image family? We're going to explore this a little bit further with someone none other than our head of content, Muhammad Ayaz Kareem, through the looking glass. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, brother?
Wa alaikum salam. Oh, your brother's tired, man. It's having one of those days, but like, I can't lie. Just hearing you and Amani, and us putting together this last minute show, really reinvigorates me. So, I know we haven't actually said anything, but people are probably wondering, where's Ria? Look, Ria actually lost her voice and she's feeling really quite ill. So she was honestly not able to do her show today. But fortunately or unfortunately, we were able to step in. And this is something that I think Rabia and I have spoken about a lot before. Yes. These are the kinds of shows that I want to do. So I take every opportunity to try out one of my ideas. And I'm glad that we got to this point. But yeah, I mean, I think you expressed and explained it perfectly. Now, this public image family, and we all know this family, right? We all know them.
Yeah, we all know someone like this. Now, Mac, I'm going to throw in another break through the looking glass. I'm going to again because I'm going to bring in brother Zachariah Omar, who is with us. Take your mic, brother. Oh no, there's no oh no about this. This is through the looking glass. You ain't got a choice. You're here. How are you?
Oh, I didn't know Zach was the tech. Yes,
Zach is here, Muhammad.
Opinions. We need to hear them.
Yeah, let's hear them. So, brother Zachariah, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I am well. How are you, Muhammad Ayaz, as well?
Alhamdulillah, Zach, I'm so glad that you're here today because I feel like you're probably the person for this topic, maybe not on this public image one, but there's a lot of things that I know you got strong opinions about here.
I'd rather keep them to myself.
No. Zach, this is the problem. I feel like you always keep them to yourself.
True.
As we cut through the kutch, you raised something important and I want to reinforce it because we did do the first segment with Sister Amani Bucks and we're talking about the Diamond Walk, but let's also say we're making dua for our own Ria, who is not feeling well. Sis, we love you. We're waiting for you to get back to the airwaves of Al Ansar. So if you're doing this, send us a WhatsApp message and let us know. What is it for you, dear listener? What is it for you about the public image family that is the hardest for you to deal with? WhatsApp number 0609041056. What's the reality for you? So, Muhammad Ayaz, let's talk. And, you know, listener, we call Muhammad Ayaz Kareem Mac for a reason. If you take the first letter of all of his names, you end up with Mac. So, public shaming, comparisons, blaming, and scapegoating. These are kind of three main things that happen in a public image family, right?
Like the scapegoating is something we've probably all seen a lot of times. I think whenever there's been any sort of public scandal, you always notice that there's that one, the black sheep of the family that gets taken down and they become almost like they've become this folktale, right? Yeah. We see it. I mean, we've seen it. We see it in history. Like if you look at TV shows like Succession, it's all around these big families who have this image. But people need to understand, usually for these families who've gotten to this level of success, It came with a lot of compromises and a lot of dark dealings. And usually, when you have a public image family, you definitely, 9 out of 10 times, I think when you pay so much attention, you are hiding something or you're trying to cover up something. And it's just, this one is hard for me because I think growing up, I aspired to maybe, I was a very different human being in my 20s. I think I really aspired to have a lot of material wealth, and the circle of friends that I moved with is very much so that 1% kind of vibe. It was important to me. It mattered to me. It was important that I got invited to things and that people knew who I was. And I think as I got older, like I was the kind of person who would never walk into like a pep store or like buy something from Edgar's. It's like, and now I don't actually even care. It's so irrelevant. I like barely have time to comb my hair or wash my face.
You see, for me, on a spectrum of public image, I have authenticity on the one end, public image on the other. And if you're going to be authentic, you very, very seldom have the time or the patience to worry too much about a public image. Now, we all obviously have our own personal branding. And so, yes, there are certain things in society that one does and that one must do. But at the end of the day, it should be without ever compromising who you are. And with public image families, many times it's like it's sweeping things under the carpet. It's better that people don't know, because what will people say? And it takes me right back to the very, very beginning of how those families actually begin. And often that family begins with a man and the woman that's going to make nikah. They're going to get married. They're going to create the family. And it starts right there with public image. You can't kind of talk to someone that's below your kind of social level. Or on the other hand, you're going to see the person, but you put your best foot forward. And I'm saying, why not just be real? Because if you're real, you never have to live up to any kind of image that you've created.
I think that's the problem in the first place. If you are going to nikah with somebody with a level of expectations and you expect this person to uphold them, I mean, already I feel like you're starting on a back foot.
Correct.
That creates this whole, like, I speak about this perfect family expectations, right? There's unrealistic expectations. There's this comparison that's constant, the constant criticism. Those are usually how these public image families start. The toxicity starts there, where you are aspiring to a certain level. So if you have these expectations and it comes with wealth, it becomes, I think it's a version of both of these, the perfect family expectation and the public image expectation. I think the toxicity lies in creating that family. You see, I think if I meet a girl tomorrow and she is on the same page with me, she has the same values I have, and she also wants a certain image, and we are aligned with that, there's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
I feel like at the end of the day, I found my person who feels me and who gets me. However, if I've got this girl who really doesn't feel the same way, but instead of like asking her, like, look, let's compromise, let's work on this, and I constantly critiquing her, I'm putting her under a lot of pressure. That is just, you're setting yourself up to fail, I think, personally.
Because instead of meeting one another's standards, you are kind of meeting the standard of what you think is the right thing for the image that you're trying to create for your family. And we do see that sometimes families or names in Durban, in South Africa, and even around the world, you mention the name and there's a certain kind of feeling about it. And so for the sake of that feeling, we will sacrifice everything. And so you find down the line to call a stick and a spade, because in the show, what do? We cut through the kutch. What happens is you will find sometimes men taking secret wives, okay, because it's better than owning up to what's going on.
It's a lot more common than you realize in our society. I'm just putting it out there. It's a lot more common.
Yep. You will find people living way beyond their means because they have to keep up with the Patels and the Govinders and the whoever's, right? So they're the kind of people who won't do a diamond walk, but they'll do a Dubai, and then they'll spend the next 3 years paying that trip off. But to the eyes of the public, it's all like really, really, really fantastic. And what this is really,
I can give you an example. You're gonna laugh at this.
Okay.
But at one point of time, I was working at a bank once upon a time. I used to be a loan consultant. I was giving loans, and there was a member of the community very successful, very, very successful, right? And they were flashy. They had like big cars in it. And the one day this man walks into the bank, this young boy, and I recognize him, but I can't place him. And he comes to me and he needs like 200,000 rand. And then his father walked in. And it is the same man who like literally has 4 like Porsches coming to me. And when he saw me, he stood up and left because he knew I knew who he was. The thing is, it was awkward. I mean, I would have helped him, but I mean, it was just like awkward. But I mean, look, we don't have so much time, and I feel like a lot of our listeners get this, but there's something I really want to touch on, and because I feel like a lot of our listeners are parents, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is maybe a little bit contentious and pushing the boundaries. But you being a mother yourself, you have a son who is a wonderful boy, and like I feel like he turned out really well. But I want your opinion on the over-involved parent vibe, because it comes with a lot of toxicity at times, and I feel like it can be stifling. I feel like my parents were, for me personally, I feel my parents were always there. They were always present, but when it came to school and stuff, I never really got pressured to achieve or perform, and so I did automatically until I got to university when I failed because they weren't involved enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, within the context,
but I feel like yeah.
So within,
carry on.
Within the context of the public image family, I think the reason that also happens is parents are perhaps helicopter parents over their kids because it's part of the whole programming that takes place, programming you to fit the public image of that particular family. And where that becomes very toxic and where that can really affect mental health is people are going past the grain of who they really are in order to meet that expectation. So there's the golden thread. We do it in relationships, going into relationships, putting your best foot forward, selling yourself as something that you're not, and then spending the rest of your life trying to live up to it. But then there is the secret, the silence conspiracy of knowing exactly who you are, but presenting yourself as something else. And that then affects finances. So there is a level of, what does this boil down to? There's a 3-letter word. If you're at home, dear listener, and you know what that 3-letter word that it boils down to is, write it into the WhatsApp 0609041056. There's a 3-letter word that really lies behind all of this. And I know, Mac, you probably know what that word is, right?
But I'm not going to say it.
Now, let's bring Zach in on this conversation.
Yeah.
Brother Zach, if you were to think, okay, public image family, what do you think is the characteristic of the public image family, or the public image, even the public image person? What do they do the most for you?
My whole life I've always been an inside, I like being inside my house, so
Yeah.
I'm not much of a public person.
Okay.
I still am though, but like because of work circumstances, I have to be out there.
Yes.
And but I don't have an answer for that here. I can't exactly answer that. But like,
I
in a
think for
nutshell,
Zach personally, knowing him and knowing his sister and his vibe and his family, I feel like Zach is better related to somebody who has. I think Zach maybe comes from a slightly career-obsessed household to a certain extent, like high performers, high achievers.
Yes.
Am I right?
Actually, yes. But like my
But
parents,
you keep it real.
yeah, my parents
Right.
never really told me like, oh, you need to get all straight A's. They were pretty much involved like my whole life
Yeah.
until like high school, because like my parents weren't so controlling.
Mhm.
Yes, they were very strict though, but like they just expected me
Do you
to
feel
just do well.
inadequate to your sister at the time?
Sorry?
Do you feel
No, I mean, your sister's
inadequate?
brilliant, right?
Mhm.
Oh no, my sister is brilliant and I'm proud of her. She's
Right.
brilliant.
You see
No.
now you see. Now I want you to look at that. This is a sign of authenticity, is when you're actually able to give the flowers to the people who deserve the flowers. Now we have a message from one of our listeners. The 3-letter word behind all of this, Layla says, is ego. Is it ego? Was that the word you were thinking about,
It
Mac?
is.
You were thinking ego. I'll tell you what, the word I was thinking of is also a 3-letter word, and the word is lie.
Ego is the first word that came to mind for me, to be honest.
So ego is ever present in a public image family, and even in someone who is dedicated to public image. But how do they support that ego? By telling whatever lie is needed to keep that image alive. And unfortunately, we do ourselves a disservice when we do this, because when you never ask for help, people believe you never need it. They also feel that there's a degree of separation between you and them, and so they never step forward. And so you actually become, in living this public image, someone who's really lonely. You say, Mac?
I think, I feel like it does probably get very lonely because I feel like when you create these expectations that you're never going to meet, you're never going to reach a place of or a point of fulfillment or contentment, right?
Yeah.
For me personally, I've realized that there's some days where I'm so tired and I'll get into bed and I will close my eyes and I'll be like, now this is life. Like I feel so fortunate. Like my bed is comfortable and I'm really tired. I'm gonna have a great sleep, and I have the sense of contentment. Right?
Yeah.
It's the best feeling ever.
Now you just mentioned
just comes from the simplest thing.
Yeah. You've mentioned the absolute antidote. The antidote to ego for me is gratitude. Because when you're experiencing gratitude for the things that you have, for the things that you do, you're also keeping it real where you're falling short. You're also able to, as Zach has said, my sister's amazing. You're able to give flowers to the person next to you and say, that is awesome. But ego is the thing that can put the spanner in the works. So you're either going to choose ego or you're going to choose gratitude. But living in ego is very different to living in a sense of gratitude.
I think what most people fail to understand is that and I think we being people who work kind of in the public eye or work with the public a lot, we've come to realize that people are you attain the standard and people love you to your face, right?
Yes.
99% of the time those people hate you behind your back and they are like actively disparaging you.
Yeah.
So you're never really achieving your goal, even if you achieve it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I understand now at my old age that I'm never going to please everybody. I am who I am. It's worked for me this far. So you can either take it or you can leave it. But it really is that simple.
The thing is, it's not as easy for everybody to have that approach. By the time we are 7 years old, and now putting on my social worker, my psychology cap, by the time we're 7 years old, our character is pretty formed. So those those early years are very, very, very important. And so we spend the rest of our life trying to learn things that will help us to be more of who we are. And I always say to my clients and to the ladies I speak to, it's more about unlearning than it is about learning. It's the stuff you got to learn not to do, the stuff you got to learn not to be.
Because what you said now, unlearning, is something that, like, I feel like once you hit the age of maybe 50, it's an impossible task, right? But maybe
no, it's not.
You can unlearn your habits.
Excuse me.
Is it not?
Excuse me. Speaking from experience here, I have no shame in saying, folks, I'm 51 and I am still unlearning stuff, and I'm still learning. Yes, Zach, I'm 51.
Way.
Yes,
of course.
I know she looks like 25.
No, okay. This is not about
but Rabia, you are an exception to the rule. Let's be so honest, you are an exception to the rule in many cases.
Here's why I don't agree. I was talking to someone very dear to me earlier on, and we were talking about how, you go through life and you're always looking forward to the things that are coming your way. And then you hit 50. And now you realize there's maybe a third of your life left, if you're lucky. Okay. So now you're actually wanting to say, I want the people around me that are deserving of my energy and that I'm deserving of their energy. I want the situations around me that are worthy of my time and of my space. So you become a lot more selective about what you will allow into your space. Now, I was reading.
I feel like you're making my point, though. I feel like you're making my point because what you're saying is that, like, you now know what you want and what you like. And so I feel like you actually become, for me personally, once you hit 50, I feel like you're so set in your ways that you are not willing to compromise on what you feel and you've decided at a point.
No.
That's what I mean.
You are, because you're willing. You're willing. When you realize that you're wanting to surround yourself with certain energy, you're willing and able and courageous enough. Mac, I think there's a lot of noise on your side. It sounds like you're drowning in the ocean or riding a ship or something.
Oh, I'm plugging a mic. Let me pull it out.
Yeah, perhaps. So we can get a bit of a crisper, cleaner sound for our listener at home. Jazakallah for that. So I think when you reach a certain age that you realize what it is that you're willing to have and not prepared to settle for, you're also willing to do the work on yourself. It doesn't mean to say it's easier. So to an extent, I'll give you that it's harder when you reach later years to change yourself, to do the work. But it requires maturity. Change requires maturity. Change requires the ability to look in the mirror and say, outside of who I want people to think I am, how do I present myself? Who am I really? And can I do the work processing the stuff I've been through in life? Because, we've been through stuff in life. By the time you're 50, you've been around that block a few times. And you wonder, like, how much of this is really who I am and how much of this isn't? Because you do not want to live another day surrounded by or doing the things that are just don't resonate with you.
That's crazy. Sorry, I'm really sorry about the noise. I've been getting this issue lately where people are telling me it sounds like you're ducking and diving, and I'm like literally sitting still. That's why I plugged in the mic to avoid it. But at this point, let's start a GoFundMe for Alexa to get a new phone.
No, stop it. Okay, let's talk, in terms of the public image. We have a public image here for Radio Al Ansar as well.
100%.
Right,
yes.
Mac? So let's not break that down, okay? So anyway, I know it's all in good
I think
fun.
every institution has a public image. I think I struggled initially coming on. I remember when I first came on the social network, I would say things and Zahir would be like, you can't say that on radio.
And that's
I was like,
you raise an important point. A family what is the definition of a family? Is it just the husband or the wife and the kids and the nanny and the daddy? And no, it's not. When we spend more time at work often than we do at home, right? And so we have our work family as well. And just as we have dysfunction in our home, we may have dysfunction there. Brother Zach, are we due for an ad break? We're due for an ad break. We're going to come straight back and talk a little bit more about public image. Let us know, what are the characteristics for you of a public image family? WhatsApp 0609041056. We'll be right back after this break.
There's nothing quite like the taste of a traditional family meal, and at the heart of every great dish is a key ingredient that brings it all together. That ingredient is Sunfoil pure sunflower cooking oil, made from only the finest sunflower seeds. It's a perfect way to enhance the taste of your family's favorite foods. Sunfoil cooking oil is more than just oil. It's the key to bring your family together over a delicious meal and making every bite taste better. Remember, the key ingredient to a great family meal is sunfoil. Tradition just tastes better.
Advertising pays. Get your business on the map through advertising with Radio Al Ansar, the station with a proven record. Let's talk to Zain of The Watch Doctor, a newcomer in the market.
I'll recommend advertising on Radio Al Ansar for sure, as my client base has increased substantially. Totally unexpected.
There you have it. Join the airwaves and take it up to another level. Call us on 031-208-1601 and ask for Fatima Shahina or Faraz Bucks, our consultants. Let your name be heard by thousands of people. Radio Al Ansar, your partner in business.
Have you heard? Heard what? The latest. Join me, Kelly Ramazani, for a brand new, exciting show every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the ultimate guide to navigating the world of careers. We talk about side hustles, unpack careers that are in demand, careers that do not need a degree, job searching, career advancement, personal development, and so much more. Tune in every Saturday, 9 to 10 a.m. to unlock the path of your dream job.
They convinced the world to believe that terrorists look like beards and thobes. Now, as the facade cracks, one martyr after another, the world sees through the broken windows and now knows the true face of terrorism. It wears suits and ties and smiles behind lies.
اللهم احفظ المسجد الأقصى من اليهود الحاقدين اللهم أعد المسجد الأقصى إلى ورحاب المسلمين اللهم وطهر المسجد الأقصى من اليهود الغاصبين اللهم عليك بهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك يا قوي يا متين اللهم منزل الكتاب مجري السحاب هازم الأحزاب سريع الحساب اهزم اليهود وزلزلهم يا قوي يا عزيز
We are back through the looking glass talking about the public image family today. We're cutting through the kutch with it. I want to talk a little bit about what the characteristics are of that shame-based family, or shall we say public image family rather. And the word really is shame. So when we talk about a public image family, often we are talking about the need to shame people into falling in line. We've got a message here from Sister Wahida who says, hey, salams, Rabia, the topic of public image is a big one. We grow up being taught to behave a certain way. What will people say? And then we raise our kids without these inhibitions. We face the pressure again. Grandparents who now pick on their grandkids or compare nieces and nephews who are raised better, more well-behaved or something. It's unfair, but it is a toxicity that exists within our culture that we have to address. Wow. Brilliant. Just like that so much. That is a brilliant contribution. Appreciate that. And it touches the nail on the head on what I was going to say. Exactly this. You're talking about the word shame. So we've spoken about the word ego. Ego drives public image families and public image people. Lies drive it. And the third key thing that drives us is what? Shame. So we have to shame kids into, no, we just don't do that. Or we'll hear people saying, women who might say to them, hey, the men in our family don't behave that way. Or men saying to the women, hey, the women in that family don't behave that way. And what are we doing? We are shaming them into getting in line. And it's not okay. It's not okay. We should be teaching our kids. We should be teaching ourselves. We should be helping one another to tell it like it is. Speak the truth. Be real. Keep it real. Okay? I am certainly not an alima or religious teacher in any way, shape, or form. But to me, there was one who spoke the truth in all things, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So therefore, why should we be thinking, what would people say? If you are living a life that's clean, if you're living a life of integrity, if you're living a life that's keeping it real, why are you worried about what people say? Because guess what? People are going to talk. People are always going to talk. You're always going to find people to talk, and they will talk about you for 3 weeks, for a month, maybe 2, and then they're on to the next topic, right, Mac? And when we publicly shame kids, when we're doing it to children, we're increasing children's feelings of being hurt. And what are we teaching them? You are not enough. Unless you meet that image, you are not enough. And so we end up with a whole bunch of Gen Zers at the moment who think everything is cringe. We end up with a bunch of millennials maybe getting offended at everything.
Now be careful.
Careful now. We end up in a world of people, and I am generalizing, so please make me laugh. I am not perfect myself. But the concept of this show that came up is to keep it real. And the fact of the matter is, if you look around the world, everything is so offensive now that which is right is wrong, that which is wrong is right, left is right, right is left, women are men, men are women. And I know I'm getting into dangerous territory right now.
Yeah, but let's talk about this. You just touched on something that's so important.
About it. Yeah, let's do it.
Like I think especially coming to radio, especially Al-Ansar, I had to sanitize my rhetoric a lot. And then getting to the position of head of content, I think it really caused me to open my eyes. The problem is that I consistently push back against it, but I want to make it clear. My intentions have always been pure. The goal is always to give the audience an enjoyable experience that is adding value to their life in some way, shape, or form. So we're either giving you information or we're telling you about something that you need to know. Um, People who come at me for my rhetoric or come at me for maybe my I'm maybe not the most eloquent at all times, who just don't like the fact that I'm maybe a little bit. I can be my mouth. I have a bit of a dirty mouth. I understand on radio that's not the time or the place. I
No, this
feel
is not the
like
place, Mac.
you know. I'm not, but I'm not.
Keep
I'm
it
not.
moving.
I'm never. I don't have a dirty mouth already. I'm saying in general in my real life. I'm saying that people who come for us here when we know what our intentions are, I've realized now it doesn't matter because at the end of
Now,
the day, I'm satisfying the listener.
now we do have only 3 minutes left, and I want to touch on that topic because I want to say this. When you are in the public image, and I say this for myself because people often will want to know the person in the image and not the real person. So people are very, very happy to meet life coach Rabia. When they meet Rabia and they realize that Rabia still keeps it real, and is going to call out that which is right and that which is wrong, it isn't always welcome. But here's the thing. Until and unless you are keeping it real with yourself or with others, you are living an illusion. You are
Yes.
behind smoke and mirrors. And it doesn't matter the community you are in. Something I learned a long time ago, and I'm going to close with this, is you can fool some of the people all of the time. You can fool all of the people some of the time. You
But you
cannot,
can't fool
you will
everybody.
not fool all of the people all of the time, because people see you for who you are behind that smoke and mirrors. So keep it real, keep the ego away, keep the lies away, focus on the truth, stay authentic, be real, because if you keep it real, you never have to lie or remember a lie for another day in your life. And that is
100%.
all we have time for
But
on the
don't wrap
show
up. Don't
today.
wrap
We
up
keep
just
it
yet.
real
Let's
through
tell. I
the
mean,
looking
so
glass.
like Rabia is staying with us. So we're going over to the social network now. Rabia will be joining us on the social network, and we've got an exciting show. And also, don't miss Nishal's exciting game show in the morning on the Breakfast Rush. And obviously, of course, we've got him Jamadar on the afternoon drive. We have got tons of great programming for you. So just stay tuned to Alansar. And coming right up is Zahid Basa with a special guest, Rabia Carvalho, co-hosting today, and it's going to be amazing.
Oh dear, you see, through the looking glass. That was all of the truth revealed, all expectations shattered. Brother Zakaria, Jazakallah for the sound. Brother Muhammad Ayaz, Jazakallah for being on the show. To the listeners who heard us out and gave us an opportunity to speak, Jazakallah for listening to us. And we'll see you when we see you, when you least expected, through the looking glass.